Blueface in a physical altercation with his girlfriend, Chrisean Rock. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I might not be, though. Um, usually we're not going to do the usual entertainment, gossip type news. This is stuff that I usually wouldn't touch. But I feel like it's an interesting opportunity because it was very, very clear she was aggressive. He was essentially trying to walk away, and she kept running up to him and being physically hostile towards him to the point that they fought each other for honestly an extended period of time. And you can see footage also of some civilians who happen to be in the area trying to get in between them and break things up and calm down the situation. And I think it's just an interesting example of one, the kind of women that you have to avoid. Like, you shouldn't be involved in relationships with women who will try to deal with you in that manner. But also, like, just as a man, the type of situations you allow yourself to be in. Like, Blueface, he purposefully gets involved with women who are like this. And that could be so dangerous. Like, it doesn't seem like this is really being looked at as other situations where a man was aggressive or physically hostile towards another woman, but it could have easily went down that way regardless of whether or not he's in the right. And to see these brothers who don't respect themselves or their reputations more by avoiding these types of situations and surrounding themselves with these type of people, I just don't understand it. What were your thoughts, Hudson?
First off, I saw the video, but who the hell is Blueface? Like, like,
Oh, you don't know Blueface?
what does he do?
He's a rapper. So he's a rapper, but even more importantly, he started, I guess it's kind of like a reality show where there'll be like 15 or 20 women that are all in his house together. And most of them, yeah, I don't watch the show, but from like the clips I've seen when I'm watching other things, it looks like most of them are, video girls, girls with daddy issues, girls with problems. It looks like basically he's taking Real Housewives and bringing it to his home. And from what I read though, it's making him quite a bit of money. So it's not like this is a drain on his resources at
Yeah,
all. It's
people love
exactly.
ratchet shit. I mean,
Exactly,
people love that.
exactly. But that means situations like this crop up because of course, he's not treating all of them like friends. He's getting involved with some of them. And then situations like this occur. It just is what it is.
I want people to notice when they see the video, right? When you see other videos, like when the man is the aggressor, well, he get tackled. Like people come up and tackle him. Boy. Now, when the woman's the aggressor, you get somebody put a hand up,
Yep.
might stand there a little bit.
Yep.
But I heard in the video real clear, don't touch me. And boy, ain't nobody touching.
Hmm.
Right? So she's still able to try to get in some shots.
Hmm.
But I thought that was kind of funny. But I mean, clearly she was the aggressor in the first part of the video that you get to see is she's pulling him and she's saying the car is this way, right? So he's trying to. I don't know if he was just gonna let her take the car on back. I don't know if he had the keys on him. It's just like I'm just gonna walk away and walk it over here. But clearly
Hmm.
he was just trying to walk away and get away from there. But he also, it's hard for me to say, hey, it's a real victim here because I mean he
Hmm.
it's clear, and I didn't even know who Blueface was. I didn't know any of this. You just told me all of this now about him having 20 ratchet chicks in his in this show in his house. I didn't know anything about that. But it was clear to me that he was in a situation he has put himself willingly in. So it's hard for me to let him play victim here on something that he's doing. Now, there's no excuse to start swinging and hitting people. There's no
Hmm.
excuse for it. She should not do it, and she should be punished for something like that. So I'm not making an excuse there.
Hmm.
But I am saying about him that I would say to a woman who was in this situation, who was purposely putting herself in that situation, is that you should not do that. Right? It's different if you feel like you can't you need help and you can't get help. You feel like you're stuck some kind of way. You feel like mentally you just can't get away. I understand that there's that type of abuse that goes on, and you know you feel almost paralyzed to get out of it. This ain't that.
No, not at all.
This ain't that.
You
So,
you you know what I thought when I looked at it? Um, I felt really bad for the people who were trying to intervene
uh,
because to me it was a stark reminder that as a man, when you're walking down the street and you see a woman being abused, whether it be verbally or physical, you got to be really, really careful about whether or not you get involved. Um, I've only had one situation where that occurred, and both of my younger brothers were with me at the time. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and this fool had brought his girlfriend, and she had fallen asleep on the couch. And for whatever reason, like he was drunk, he got upset that she had fallen asleep, so he opened up a bottle of vodka and poured it all over her face while she was like sleeping face up. So the vodka went like all in her eyes, all in her nose. Like it was actually really horrible to see. And it was something that happened so quickly. It wasn't like you could like stop him because we didn't realize at first what he was trying to do. But I stood up and was like, "Yo, you can't do that to her." And he, stopped pouring that vodka and backed away. But we were around like 10 or 15 other people, and it was obvious, they were close friends with him. So it was going to be this brawl if my brothers and I decided to take this further. And it was obvious she was okay. Her friends came around, her friends pulled her away. So my brothers and I, we walked out the house. About a month later, my youngest brother was having a party at the house. Guy shows up and she's draped on his arm. And it's just one of those things where we could have taken it further, or maybe he doesn't stop and we end up having to get into a physical altercation in order to make him stop. And this could potentially be a situation that seriously impacts your life, seriously harms you. Meanwhile, she's right back with them. And this is the same situation here. Like, let's say Blueface was a much more violent person, and maybe he was the aggressor, maybe he was abusing her, and he hurts one of these people who tries to get in the middle of them. At the end of that same night, they were back at the same house together.
yeah,
Like they're abusing each other and they're with each other, and it just is what it is. So when you walk down the street and you see a woman that is being beaten or harmed by another brother, you can't just jump up and say, "Oh, I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to, let that happen in front of me." Because it could very easily be a situation where that man beat your ass and then she gets in a car with him and they fucking later on that night and don't think about you at all. Like it's just such a difficult call about whether or not it's the right decision to put your person on the line. And for me, and I'm not saying I wouldn't do that again, because I understand morally as a man, I shouldn't stand by and allow a woman to be victimized. But I understand the brothers who I see saying, if I was in the same situation, I wouldn't do anything because it's just not cut and dry.
mhm. I, for me, I think it goes back to some advice that my father gave me a long time ago, and that advice was, if a homeless person comes up to you and asks you for $5, right, um, and you have the $5 to give, and you can give it, it's not your duty to ask him what he's going to use the $5 for.
I agree with that.
Right? It's on the lines of this, right? If you feel in your heart that if you're the type of person you want to intervene, you want to, it's a risk to it. There absolutely is. and there's always a chance that this person's gonna go back and they're gonna be together the same night. In fact, I would tell you it's a much better chance than not that they're gonna go back and be in the same place that night. You have to
Hmm.
realize you got to do that for you. You're doing
Hmm.
that because you feel like it's the right thing, and you got to let the rest of it go if you're going to be the type to do that. Now, for me, it's a simple thing for me. I'll call the police,
Hmm.
right? I'm just, and I'll make that call in front of you. I'm right here, 911. Yeah, I have somebody over here beating on this woman.
Hmm.
Beating on her real good. Yep, I am at 10th and Main. Yep, right here. Beating on her
Hmm.
real good. Yeah, she's taking a beat. You know, and you know,
Wow.
I got kids to go home to.
Hmm.
I got kids to go home to. But, you know, my conscience can't let me just not do anything.
Right.
So the safest route is just call the police, let them sort it out, right? Because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what he's got. He's not going to be the type of guy to stand up to a man. So what's he going to do if he decides to confront you? He's probably got something.
Right.
If he's got something, he's going to be so scared he's going to use it, right?
Hmm.
So for me, that it's not worth the risk to for my kids to find out they don't have a father,
Hmm.
right? So, like I said though, I ain't calling the police for her. I'm not.
Hmm.
I'm calling them because I think that it's the right thing to do. I'm calling them because if my wife was in a situation, I would at least want somebody to pick up the phone.
Right.
At least somebody pick up the phone and make a call. Because maybe just picking up that phone and making that call will stop the person from doing something.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with that perspective because honestly, for me to see a woman being abused and then just walk away and do nothing, it would hurt me.
Yeah,
That's something that would stay with me. Like there's just no way I would feel right about it.
yeah,
I mean, honestly, it's probably better to, to stand up, even if the situation doesn't work out the way you wanted to. It's better to have done that and know that you did the right thing when called upon than to just walk away
mhm,
and allow someone to continue to be abused. I talked with a woman about this once, and she said that you don't you don't stand up because you feel like she's going to leave right then. You hope that sometime in the future, when she's really tired of the abuse, she will remember that people stood up for her and that she could do better. And that if she wanted to leave, there are people out there who would support her, and that you would be a part of that. You would be part of the reason why she decided to finally walk away from the abuse. And so that's also something that I've always held to. But at the end of the day, still, I do understand the perspective of those brothers who are like, why am I putting myself on the line and why am I getting involved? It's a tough world we live in.